All right. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's see. All right. Hello guys, just checking 1 2 1 2 if everything is all right here. Right. I need to stop something which is gonna be this guy here. Hello guys, just checking 1 2 1 2 if everything is all right here. Right. I need to stop something which is gonna be all right. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna start a new project here. All right. Yes. I can still hear some feedback. Okay, so I'm gonna start a new project here. All right. Yes. I can still hear some feedback. Okay, so I'm gonna start a new project here. Still listening some feedback. Still listening some feedback. Still listening some feedback. Thank you. That probably is what I should. Okay. Thank you guys. So many software open. It's a little crazy. Alright, so welcome everyone to this today's masterclass. I'm gonna be talking about effects, and let's start with the concept of send and return channels. I guess it's clear. We don't have in an analog studio 25 reverbs or 35 delays. So what we usually do is use one reverb or one delay for all the channels. We can use several ones, up to, if I'm not wrong, up to 12 or maybe 8. Let's check it so we are sure. So yes, I think I can go to, this is 9, I think I can go till 12. Alright, there is also, there it is 12. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm gonna use this concept, but inside a drum rack. So I'm gonna take an empty drum rack to a MIDI clip. I'm gonna check again that everything is fine. Thank you, Joseph. All good. So empty drum rack. I'm gonna take a kick from my library. use something like this. I have a kick. I'm gonna load a snare also. Why not? 909 and a hi-hat. Maybe this guy here. Oh. There it is. Let's make a little something. Let's go to 130 BPMs today. Make something electro. Tum tuka, tum tum ka. Very well. Alright, so maybe you might ask to yourself, how can we add send and return channels to a drum rack? Because I would like to use the same reverb for the three instruments. Don't want to load three different reverbs right after my kick or after my snare and after my hi-hat. So what I should do is I should come here and open the chain selector, and as you can see here there is an S and an R. The other day when I was making zoom it was glitching a little, so I'm gonna wait just a few seconds and see that it's not glitching anymore. Alright, so here there is a couple of buttons for send and return. So if we open return, now I can drop in this area effects that are gonna be working in a send and return scenario. So audio effects, let's go to load a reverb. If I double click, just one click on the reverb, I can configure it. Let's reset it. Of course, dry and wet has to be all the way up when we are in a send and return channel, and I'm gonna adjust just a little bit some things here. I want to cut my lows, I want my reverb on high quality, and I'm gonna make a little bandpass for my diffusion network. In a second I'm gonna explain a little what are all these parameters, but right now I just want to make some adjustments and show you how can I use reverb on these three elements. Well, now I have two options. I can come here and open the group of the drum rack, and as you can see now there is a sense here. This has appeared as soon as I drop an effect in this area. So now I can let's solo. There is the snare with the reverb. There are my hi-hats with reverb. I wanted to give some reverb to my kick. There it is. We can see also the values, these values of sense. I'm gonna compress the group. Let's take out the browser too. Also, if I come here where it says S from sense, if I click S, I can see the same values that I have here. -32, 0 and -47, they are here. They are the same. Okay, so this is the way to use return channels on a drum rack. let's lower a little the BPMs. I think I'm going too fast. Okay, let's add some other effects. We can add maybe an echo, which has, drop it here. Let's go to the echo and adjust the dry wet to 100%. I'm gonna explain in a second what is the echo, but right now I just wanted to drop it as an effect channel. So let's go to the snare and add some echo. There it is. All right. Well, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about today. Let me go to my YouTube and see that everything still glitching. I saw in the recording the other days that it was a glitch when I was zooming. I hope it's alright. Tell me something, guys. Well, Joseph is there online also answering your questions, guys, if you need any help. Well, let's talk a little bit about reverb. Just a quick tip. I like to use this tip for my courses. So what you have to think, if you have a quick sound, when I mean quick sound, be percussive sound, like all these kicks and snares and hi-hats, I will recommend you to go and make this balance, something like this. We need more reflection, early reflection, than diffusion network for short sounds. So I just mentioned early reflections and diffusion network. Let's talk a little bit about these two things and the different stages of a reverb. So the reverb is basically a simulation of a space where the sound is gonna bounce in those walls and is gonna come back to our ears, and we are gonna have a perception of a space, if it's small, if it's big, or even the material that it's built of. Well, the first parameter that we have to take into account is pre-delay. Pre-delay is the time that it takes the sound to go, for example, out from my voice and bounce to the walls. This parameter can give us a sense of the size of the space. Then as soon as the sound bounces in the wall, the first echoes that produce are very important, and they are called early reflections. In Ableton's reverb, we cannot do much with the early reflections. We can just modulate them, but we have a separate value of gain for the early reflections here. And then after my voice bounces in the wall, there is a tail of the reverberation. That's what we call the diffusion network. And we have a volume separate for the diffusion network. So just like a quick view of the three main stages of a reverb. Of course, here we have an input filter, what we can select which frequencies are we going to process through the reverb, the early reflections, and the diffusion network. The diffusion network, there are several parameters pretty important. One is the decay time. Let me isolate my snare, for example. You can see here we can make the reverb shorter or larger. For percussive sounds, I recommend you to keep everything a little between short and medium. Otherwise it's gonna mud or mix. It's gonna be complicated to mix these sounds. Unless it's a very special snare or crash that we want to make a nice and long reverb, then it's possible to use longer decays, but for sounds that are gonna be repeating one after the other, it's better to keep the decay time a little low. And then, as I said, very important, we want to make this kind of balance, more early reflections than diffusion network. In this way also we are gonna be safe in terms of mixing. Alright, so let's see if everything is alright and it's not glitching so much. So is the OBS going something? What is the role of dB things here? dB. I guess you are asking for decibels, but I'm gonna wait a little to see if that's what you mean. Alright, so we have a reverb, we have an echo. What else? In the echo we can create some cool stuff. Let me isolate again my my snare. Let's quit leave only the echo. So in the echo is basically another type of delay. If I'm not wrong, it's not in the syllabus so for this week, so I thought it would be nice to have a look to it. Echo is a replica of a tape delay. The most famous tape delay, you should know, is the Roland RE201 Space Echo. This was made, I think, around 73, between 73 and 88. And basically, what was how it worked, it's with a tape, and a tape like the ones that we had on the cassettes. It record different delay samples, and we could manipulate them and tweak them, and then the self system would erase those repetitions with an input signal. So it got erased automatically with any input signal. Has been massively used, especially on dub music, which is a genre originally created by reggae musicians, and it was all about emphasizing effects, especially reverb and delay. So in the dub versions, usually we take out the vocals or the solo instruments, and we keep the drums, the bass, and we start manipulating and creating a new version of a track, just tweaking delay times and reverb tails, etc. There is a digital version of this from Boss. They even leave the green color and space echo here. I own this one. It's digital, so of course it's not the same. I really like the delay that has it, but I'm not so happy with the spring reverb that it was included in the original one. That's what here in echo we have a reverb included. Alright, so what we have here are the repetitions of each channel, left and right. We can link them or unlink them. Let's make something a little different. So we have a different repetition on left and right channels here. We can change this to have them free instead of sync with the tempo for project. And then let me leave this again where it used to be there, maybe 1/8. Then we have the feedback, which is how much output signal are we feeding into the system again. Be careful with these guys, because this can make, well, you probably have realized it these days with simple delay and filter delay and ping-pong delay. So be careful with feedback, because it can get crazy. Then we have a filter included in the echo. We can filter the output signal of the delay. Then, as I said, we have a reverb that could be post or pre-fader, or even after the feedback. Now we are starting getting the feeling of the Roland 201. Here we have just a simple control of the decay of the reverb, which is basically the diffusion network. We can make it shorter or larger. Here by default this is in stereo. You can change in ping pong, so every delay time is going to be panned, one to the right, one to the left. Alright, more things. We have here a tab called modulation. We can modulate the delay time, which is what usually happened when we use a 201. We were holding and tweaking the tape, so we could create very crazy and original sounds. Let me try here something with a sawtooth to the delay time. I hope you can hear it. Let's put this 3. Well, enough snare, I think you are having. Okay, we can modulate also the filter, and we can send an envelope, but I'm gonna go to character for a second. There is something very interesting here, which is a noise source. Let's close the modulation for a second here. That is maybe some less feedback and reverb. As you can see, gives a lot of noise as the original one. Alright, let's a little more feedback. Well, I think I have a better let me put this guy down. Was working in a project. Let me close this. I hope this is clear. I thought it would be nice to start with this. Let me go to my here. Yeah, when I zoom it glitches, right? I'm gonna keep my zoom quiet, guys. So as I was saying, I'm gonna open a project I was working on. 1 second, this guy. Don't need to save this. And we can see the echo applied in a different scenario that is not a percussive sound. Alright, so first a little manipulation of audio I did here. Okay, so this is already wet. Let me take all these guys, group them. I'm gonna select all, group them, Command G also, and mute them. Now, so this was kind of like this.
Period. Jamaica.
So it's just me talking to the screen. I just transpose this, so I have this.
Period.
And then I just start chopping and placing it where it was good for my project.
period, period,
and
period,
in a return channel, sorry, no, I'm gonna use as an insert here. I add this. Let me take out all these other effects and leave the echo so we can hear the echo. So basically pretty slow repetition, some offset on each channel, and then I use pretty radical bandpass filter. I don't think I use modulation here, and then in the character I use noise and gate. The gate basically is gonna cut any signal that doesn't go, that is below the threshold. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show you here with the echo. I hope it's clear. I'm gonna jump into another one, which I have right here on my left. Is a resonator, another very creative effect. A resonator basically is something that is going to provide us more tone feeling. Doesn't matter which is the source of the sound, but it's gonna start creating like more harmonic content. Let's see without the echo. So this is my voice, and this is with a resonator. The resonator is, sorry again for the zoom, I'm very used to that. Maybe I should use the zoom from Ableton, the one on the preferences, make it a little bigger. So the the resonator effect, as I said, is made of 5 resonators, which we can pitch. If I go to my bass, I can see that I'm on mainly A sharp. So I came here and I tune my main resonator to A sharp. Then I add a minor third above, a minor third below, an octave below, and 2 octaves below. Each of these resonators, I can change the volume of each of them, and very important, there is a filter in the beginning, and is what I'm using. I'm using actually a band reject filter on 1000 Hz. So all these resonators are going to be applied to the frequencies that I'm letting pass through. So these together with an echo and with some EQ, now let's listen to it in a little contest, musical contest. So let me take all of these things. I'm gonna stop this guy. This. As you can see, this clip I didn't start it from the beginning, so when the rest starts, this clip starts in this point and goes all the way to the beginning. Just a little tip, the first resonator goes out from left and right channels. 2 second and fourth resonators go out from the left channel, and the third and the fifth resonators goes out through the right channel. Alright, I hope it's clear. I'm gonna check a little if everything is there somewhere we could listen to my music? Yes, I'm gonna post it in a second in the end, my SoundCloud and everything. Any particular reason for the cut of those frequencies? No, there is not any particular reason. I guess you mean inside the echo? No, it's just like I just want to keep the repetitions are for those frequencies, but there is no particular reason. It's something I normally do. If I'm not using an echo, you can always do it. Let me see if I can do it here. You can always use filter delay that has also filter, or simple delay. No, simple delay, no, sorry, ping pong delay has also a filter. In the case that we want to use simple delay for some reason, we can always place an EQ right after. Don't be afraid. Your computer is gonna tell you if you are going too far in terms of loading it, CPU load. So it would be applying that. Of course, the simple delay programming is not the same as the echo, so it's not gonna sound the same, but right. Let's go with something else. Nice. For the resonator, any particular for the cut of those frequencies? Neither. It was just sonically it sounds better. It's in the Vox, so I'm gonna isolate it. Let's do it. Let's make here a little loop so we can hear the difference. I'm gonna stop the echo and the EQ. We can hear here the difference. Here is a high pass. I'm applying all these resonators to the high frequencies above this frequency, cutoff frequency. This is a band pass with center frequency, this one here, and this is a band reject, which, if you can hear, is like the basses and the highs, the lows and the highs, but not the mid frequencies. Not particular reason. It was sonically I like it, and I was using it in that way. There are two modes here on the resonator. Again, sorry for the zoom. A and B. It's just two different ways of programming the resonators. They say in the manual that A is better when we use a low pitch on the first resonator. Anyway, again, it's worth it checking what is a little more real. Okay. Alright, let's leave this and this. I'm gonna now take an audio track and I'm going to record something with my fingers. I'm gonna mute my speakers here so it doesn't get the feedback, but I guess you can still hear me, right? Yes, yes, 1 2 1 2. So I'm just gonna maybe I'm gonna record something like this. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Okay, I'm gonna put back my speakers so I don't feel so weird. Then let's say here input off, and this is what I just recorded. Oh, 2 bars, perfect. Okay, I was going to do something here with warping, but don't need it. It's kind of funny, the stop is here. Well, let's go and make something creative. Let's take out the input outputs, put this guy some semitones lower, and I'm gonna apply these guys that we have been talking about. Resonator, let's go to my note that is A sharp, maybe a perfect fourth, which is 5 semitones, octave higher, also 2 octaves lower, and all the way up the dry wet. I don't want to listen me snapping. Well, let's play a little with the filter. I want to keep now the low frequencies, apply this to low frequencies, so I have like almost like a new string instrument made by snapping and applying on the resonator. I'm gonna go again for echo, this combination resonator echo. I'm using it a lot lately, and then I'm gonna jump into something different. Sorry. Let's modulate the filter. You can add some distortion in the input. Let's change the repetition of this guy. And add some noise here. Very important, those changes in the pitch are happening because repitch is set on by default in echo, on the echo device. This is what it's doing is when I'm changing, while the delay is happening, when I'm changing the repetition, the pitch, the repetition is trying to is going from one division to another division, so we can hear those kind of effects. Alright, a lot of fun with this. We could add a redux, which is a digital distortion. Be careful with these guys, because it can be, especially with the bit reduction. Maybe it would be good to place the distortion before the echo. I could stay here for the rest of the day with echo, but let's jump into something else. Any questions around here? And where you are panning the resonators to left or right? Well, actually, the resonator, I'm not panning it. It's panned by hardwired. It's made like this internally. I'm not panning them. These values here are for the pitch of those resonators. These are the gains, which I haven't mentioned, but it's obvious. But no, I'm not panning them. They got panned internally. Again, the first one is here. It goes from left and right. The second and fourth for the left channel, and third and fifth from the right channel. Alright, I'm gonna go for something else. So I have this Atmo here, Atmo group, made with several different chords. And now I'm gonna take a gate effect. A gate basically sets what is a threshold in that we are gonna set and say if the sound is going through or not. So as you can see, I have this threshold here, and the signal is below my threshold, so it's not coming through. So if I put it down, I can start hearing my Atmo. Not very exciting, right? But look what I can do. I can trigger my gate through an external component. I know maybe I'm getting a little, going maybe too far, but I think that you are gonna get it, guys, and hopefully you can get some inspiration about this. So I'm gonna minimize a little the width of my channels so I can see more here. I'm gonna drag here a drum rack, sorry, which actually I'm not gonna be listening to. It's gonna be only to trigger my gate. So I can take here any sound. Probably it's better to do it with a quick sound like a hi-hat. I'm gonna do this, just a pattern of hi-hats. And I'm gonna come here to my Atmo, and I'm gonna say sidechain, and my input is going to be this 12th channel, the 707 Cannibals kit, which is this guy here. Let's rename this as sidechain SD. Sorry, SC sidechain. And the audio from is going to be sidechain, and the channel, I'm gonna play this guy, and I can see it here. Any of these that has a fader can work. So now what happened is that Atmo, which before was like this, is triggered by that hi-hat that I just programmed. Sorry, tom. Let's make it with a hi-hat. Yeah. Okay. With the tom, it was okay. So if I come here to my gate, I can see how it's triggering, and I can start making variations of that Atmo pattern or sound thanks to my percussive pattern. I hope you get it, guys. If not, I can repeat it. So this drum, in this case this tom, is triggering a gate that I have at Atmo, and is opening and closing the volume thanks to that pattern. Well, I love this kind of stuff. It's like really... Alright, I'm gonna don't throw everything because who knows what can happen. What else? Alright, 46. So let's take this guy, mute this guy. You don't have to have this guy active in your track. You can mute it. Let me mute stuff here so we can hear a little better. There it is. This tom is triggering the gate of Atmo. Without that trigger, with that gate triggered by an external element, we will get deeper into the rest of controls probably in, later in the course, but I just wanted to throw this. Alright, well, okay, so any questions, guys? Everything clear? Alright, so you are asking me, Waxy, some about simpler. Well, let me see if I can. Now I will have to see exactly the example that you are talking about, but let me see if I'm happy and we can replicate that here. I'm lucky, I meant. Okay, so I guess it's something happening with your fades, maybe? These are fades, Waxy. We don't get to play them completely. It's just to avoid clicks and pops. Usually. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, I think as Joseph suggests is the fade out and fade in of the sample. This fade here. Makes sense, Waxy? That's on classic. On one shot we don't have that. It's only on classic. Yeah, I think it's that, right? That fades. See the sound here. Fade. Your control is fade. More stuff. Well, you probably will see during the mixing. Yes. Alright, I hope it's clear, Waxy. So there is something here I normally show, which is audio effects in the EQ8, guys. We can use it in high quality mode. If you right click on the header and say oversampling, that's like high quality mode. And do you have to do this every time? No. You can say here save as default preset. So every time you open EQ8 is going to be on oversampling. That's another tip for effects. And more stuff. Well, I think I had more or less that when sometimes while adding So Michelle, you basically are recording an automation or a MIDI envelope? That's not clear, but sometimes while I'm adjusting effect knobs on the clip, I'm editing. It's a different case, but let's say that I'm here and on the MIDI envelope I made something and I want to get rid of this. You just select or even right click and delete. As simple as that. If it's in the arrangement view, and we have an automation here. Let's say we are making an automation of whatever. You can come select and press Command Delete, because if we say only delete, in Ableton 10 we can do only delete and it's going to delete only the automation. The reason is because we are not selecting the whole clip. Now if I select the clip and I say delete, obviously it's going to delete the content. So it's not necessary anymore to hold command. You just select the automation, not the clip, the automation, and press delete. I hope is that what you meant, and let's go for you mean automation. No, it's in the clip view. While I'm moving knobs, it appears a red dot on it and it moves by itself. Well, I just show you, I think, Michelle. I think so. You are not on automation, you are on the clip envelope. If you have recorded some automation here, just right click clear envelope. Before it was a different menu because I select the points and I select delete, but we can do either that or with less clicks it would be right click on the envelope, clear envelope. Remember that the envelope is active, guys, if we click toggle on this guy here. I hope it's not glitching. Okay, more. Oh, not this one. Bear with me, guys. It's almost 4 a.m. in LA. No, it's in the clip view. Okay. Also, it is possible to just send one pad in the drum rack to a sidechain send. Yes. Yes. No problem. This is actually what I was doing here. This pad, which is the hi-hat, hi-hat Tom 707 high, is what I was sending to my Atmo, with my gate. I hope you mean this. What happened here? There it is, sidechain SC, and we can select here which channel or which instrument from my side, from my drum rack, is going to trigger my 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 gate. But also the trick, we can press play and we can see here that is one of these three. This one is pre-effects, the other one is post-effects, the other one is post-mixer. Right now it doesn't matter, you just have to select one of them and see that I don't know what's going on now with my, probably the threshold, or no, I don't know what's going on with my sound, I lost it. Is this solo here? Now we are. I don't know, maybe I'm not playing any loop here, yes. I hope that's clear. Well, I work a lot at night, so I'm pretty used to this time. So thank you, Philip. Anyways, okay, Dob. I thought it was the whole rack. Well, I was sending, I think, the whole rack because I don't have any other instrument on my plane on my rack, so I don't mind. I'm not worried about sending the whole rack. But you can send different channels for the side chain. Independent channels, I mean. More stuff. Well, Devon, you have to wake up at 4, but no, I'm just staying till late, which is easier. Well, I think this is all, guys. Effects are very important for sound design. It's not only about synthesis or sampling, but it's also what kind of effects are we applying. Something can change them dramatically because of the effects that we are using. And yeah, there are very good effects in Ableton. I just covered some of them in the syllabus. There are some of them, but we are going to cover more on the mixing side of the course a little later. Distortions are very important to give warmth to our sound. We are gonna talk about them. Very nice distortions are a saturator, and also pedal is a new one. Sorry, pedal here, pedal saturator. I have 1 minute left, so I'm not gonna go through all of them, but let's take the gate out. I showed you all the distortions available: overdrive, dynamic tube, and these are analog distortions, and digital distortion is Redux. And those are the distortions, really important for sound design also, to give what we used to say, to give the salt and pepper to our sound. It's like adding salt and pepper into our food. Well, let's see if anyone else is having something. Another one that I might, just as last one, I would show you, let's do this, the spectrum, which is very easy. It's just a view of what is happening. Frequency spectrum. We can click in this arrow and have a larger view. We can use more points to see what is going on. And yeah, basically that. Channels left and right, refreshing. Well, I hope. Yo, thank you everyone. You can always write me any questions, guys, through the application, the Point Blank site. I hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.